is Patience, the Brainy Tutor. Today we are going to be discussing multiplying and dividing negative numbers. Previously we spoke about the number line, so we are going to continue. We've already done addition, we've already done subtraction. Now we're going to multiply and divide negative numbers. There are specific rules you need to follow. I'm going to make this really easy for you. So when you multiply two negative numbers, you get a positive number. When you multiply two positive numbers, you have a positive number. But when you multiply a negative number and a positive number, you will end up with a negative number, and a positive times negative will also give you a negative number. So what I need you to remember is that when you are multiplying or dividing two of the same, you will always have positive. And when you are multiplying or dividing two opposites, negative and positive or positive and negative, you'll always end up with a negative number. So remember, this works for both division and multiplication. So let's do a few examples. So the first example is when you have two negatives. So you have a -3 times -4. Where these are two of the same, they are both negative, so the answer will be positive. So that will be a +12. Two of the same, positive and positive, will also give you a positive number. What if we have a negative number times a positive number? That will give us a negative. Remember, two of the same gives you positive, two opposites will always give you a negative. So this will be a -10. If we have a +6 times a -3, once again we have a positive and negative. And remember, when we have two opposites in multiplication and division, remember this works for both multiplication and division, we are going to have a -18. So when you multiply two negative numbers, you can think of it as reversing the direction twice, leading to a positive outcome. For instance, if you're facing left, which means negative, then you turn around, multiplying by a -1, that makes you face right or positive. I hope that helps. All right, let's do another example, and this time we are talking about division. Like I mentioned before, division and multiplication will follow the same rule. What if we have a -12 divided by -4, where they are both negative, so the answer will be positive, and here the answer is 3. And what if we have two positives, a 16 divided by 4? The answer will be +4 because it's a positive and positive. And also if you have a -10 divided by 2, we will end up with a -5 because two opposites will give you a negative, and here's a negative and a positive. And if we have 15 divided by -3, you will end up with a -5. So as you can see in example 2, division will follow the same rules as multiplication. So the key takeaway here is that dividing two numbers with the same sign, both negative or both positive, will result in a positive number, while dividing numbers with different signs will result in a negative number. Now that we have covered multiplying, dividing negative numbers, also addition and subtraction, let's see how negative numbers can be used in various real-life situations across different fields, okay? So, for example, in finance, when you're dealing with debt, okay? When you owe money, owing money is always represented as a negative number. So for example, if you have $100 in debt, what that means is that you have a negative 100. That's how the balance is going to show in your bank account. If you owe money, you have $100 debt in your bank account, it's going to show up as a negative 100. Okay, we use negative numbers when it comes to losses. Businesses usually use negative numbers to represent losses. If a company has lost $50, it might be recorded as a negative figure in their financial statements. So a business has lost $50. This will be represented as a loss of $50. Okay. We can also use negative numbers when we are discussing temperature, when we are discussing, for example, below freezing. If we are discussing temperatures that are below freezing, that means those temperatures are below zero, such as -5 degrees Celsius. When we are reporting in weather reports indicating cold conditions, when we say it's -5 degrees Celsius, that means the temperatures are below freezing. They are below zero. Also, when we're discussing elevation and we are discussing sea level, locations that are below sea level, like the Dead Sea, are represented with negative numbers. For example, -430 meters indicates how far below sea level it is. Okay, now let's talk about game scores. For example, penalty points. In some games, teams can receive negative points, such as penalties, and this can impact their overall score. So there are negative numbers coming. Then we have the field of computer science. Sometimes we have data representations, okay? So in programming, negative numbers are often used in calculations, algorithms, and data structures. We can also use negative numbers in physics. When talking of direction, negative values can represent directions such as velocity or displacement, indicating motion in the opposite direction. This is not an exhaustive list, but it's the ones I chose to show you as examples and how important negative numbers are in real life. So in statistics, when we are speaking about deficits, in data analysis, negative values can indicate a deficit or a decrease in a data set, such as a decline in a population or sales. So as you can see, there's many fields where we use negative numbers, and most people wonder why math is important, but do you see how many of these fields you can get into by actually studying mathematics? Now that we have seen all the fields that you can get into by just studying math, specifically negative numbers, we've seen how you can apply them in real life. I want to give you a few questions that you should answer for me. They are very simple, and you can always get back with me if you need help by commenting, subscribing, and I'll be available. So try these, please. If your account shows a balance of -$200, what does that really mean? Number 2, if you purchase a stock of $1,000 but then sell it for $800, what is your loss? Number 3, what does a temperature of -10 degrees Celsius mean? Does it affect outdoor activities? Thank you so much for watching The Brainy Tutor. My name is Patience. Once again, subscribe and comment. I would like to thank all those who have already subscribed. I appreciate your support, and please let me know what material you want to see next. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.